Okay, ready? Okay, let's start with the. Hello, welcome to Radio Thailand broadcast about the radio and its popularity in your countries. So, sorry, please introduce yourself and where you're from.
My name is Martin Corbin. I'm here at the Radio Asia conference. I'm the MC for the conference, but I'm also a speaker as well. In Australia, I'm a broadcast and media trainer. I spent 20 years with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, and now I train people all around Australia and do some international radio training of presenters and working with stations.
Oh, yeah. It seems to me that your experience is pretty fruitful in radio industry, and please share us about the what you have seen so far about the trends and the challenges of radio industry.
The challenges of the radio industry haven't really changed that much. There's always been something else on radio's in radio's area of influence. First there was television. People thought radio might die because television was invented. Right. And then it was computers. And now I think the challenge that we all face is social media.
Right.
But there's been a lot of talk conference, but for a few years now, about how radio gets the most out of social media, how they can work together to work on a theory that I have and a plan that I have, which is for radio stations to think about their total station output. So their total station output is their radio output, their social media output, and their events and how they connect physically with the community. But I think to answer your question, social media is probably the biggest challenge, and of course we've only got so much time in the day, haven't we? There's only 24 hours in the day. How many things can we put on our phone these days? How many options does the audience have? So radio needs to be very competitive and very good at what we do if we're going to remain competitive.
You mentioned we have to remain competitive and we have to remain good. So what would be the definition of the good radio for your perspectives? You can mention your experience or what you have seen in your country.
Well, I think good radio is the target that it's aiming for. If a radio station sits down and says, look, we want to broadcast to people that are between 30 years of age, 30 and 45, and we want to get that market, if they achieve that, then that's success. But what do is be all over the place and trying to do everything. We need to choose achievements that we can work towards and work on that. So successful radio is one that achieves the goals set out by the radio station, and they do that by coming up with great content, what we actually talk about on the radio, or the music that we play, or the events that we support in the community. And we have great presenters on air who are the personalities, if you like, of the station. Nice people on air, nice people that we want to get to know, who sound like they're real people, and not DJs, but real, genuine people like your best friend. That's a good way for a radio station to work towards, is having really great people as the presenters of the station, and also to be talking about the things that the audience is interested in. And that's what we work towards when we do training of radio stations and radio presenters, is talking about the things that the audience is interested in. And you know yourself, what are you interested in? Maybe a little bit of sport, maybe a little bit of cooking, maybe a little bit about relationships.
Many different.
Maybe politics, all sorts of things, but talking about the things that the audience is interested in.
Okay, that can make us remain strong in the industry, right?
Listen to what the audience wants, then what are we here for? In radio, if we don't do what the audience wants, why are we there? It's like and thinking no one's going to read it. So if you write, right?
Sure.
So we've got to make sure that we listen to the audience, we sort of ask them what they want, and we try and create the content that they really do want to listen to.
Do you think from your spoke about we have to emphasize the audience, right? We have to emphasize demand. It's kind of demand driven. But in Australia, in the context of Australia, or in any other cultures, do you think the cultures are important? I mean, what I mean is, in Asia, we have different contexts, we have different needs, different backgrounds of the, individual society. do you think we have to, understand ourselves first, understand our culture, so that we can, make a good content?
Yes, I think we do have to understand the culture that you're broadcasting to. We have to understand who we are, because I guess trying to present is the radio station is a bit like a person who's a member of the society, member of the group. And if the radio station doesn't understand the culture of the society, then there's going to be a difference, isn't there? A clash. It's going to be, who's this Australian guy talking to me on Thai radio, like about Australian things in an Australian way? So we need to understand the culture, and that's a little bit more along the lines of understanding what the audience wants, how they consume information, and how they want it delivered to them. So there's a lot in the success of radio by understanding the audience, what they need, what they want, and how they want it delivered to them. Take, for instance, youth radio, they want a certain style of music and a certain style of presentation.
Right.
An older audience obviously wants a different, slower pace. They speak a bit more slowly, can't hear as well, that sort of thing. So we need to adapt to the audience, and part of that is adapting to the different cultures.
What about Australian audience? What kind of stories that they're interested in for their daily activities?
The sorts of things I think that Thai people are interested in. I know there's been discussion here in Bangkok about traffic reports being very important, because let's face it, there's lots of traffic and people are in cars and they want to go somewhere. In Australia, traffic is very important too in the capital cities. Because transport time is very important whoever you are. So we talk about traffic as well, so there's a similarity there between Bangkok and say Sydney or Melbourne. We also talk a lot about the weather, because in Bangkok the weather sometimes is the same nearly every day, right? Hot, a little bit humid. In Sydney or Melbourne the weather can change quickly, so in the morning people go, what's the weather? Because I want to know, do I wear a jacket today or take my umbrella or something like that? So in a simple term, audiences and the difference we have there between Australia and Thailand is that simple. But Australia types of radio, music station, talk station, and what we call we'll try and be the opinion leaders, and we do a lot of issues of the day, and there's a lot of forming opinions and working with other media to try and build up a story that may not necessarily be there.
Interesting. Last but not least, please leave some opinions about the what we have heard quite often about the questions on radio is a dying medium. Do you believe in this saying, as we are working so long time in radio industry?
Yes, I don't think it's a dying medium. I think it's going to be here for a long time, because there's still some unique things about radio that will be hard to challenge, and that is we can do two things at once. We can listen to the radio and drive a car, work in the garden. You can't do your phone and have a conversation with someone at the same table. It's very difficult, isn't it? Because your phone is concentrating your energies. The same with the TV. It tends to be you lock the TV because it's the visual and the audio at the same time. So even though there's been developments in social media and TV, and there's lots of movies to watch and all those sorts of things, radio still has a special place. And a good how special it is when there's an emergency. For instance, maybe if there's flooding in Bangkok or in Australia, most people turn to the radio for we know radio is good for, because it's quick information, it's personal information by someone, or like a person talking to another person and delivering information very quickly and in a succinct and easy sort of way, and it's fast. TV is very slow, as we know. Social media, sometimes in an emergency the information could be questionable as to whether it's true or not, because it's just people contributing. So there's a couple of things that radio has to its advantage, and I think it's remaining its advantage, it's keeping its advantage by concentrating on those things and making sure not be lazy and just forget about those other things.
Okay, thank you for your time and your contribution here. hope hope you enjoy in Thailand. And next time we hope that you can give us a very valuable opinion again in the future.
Well, thank you very much. My Ben Rai.
That's right.
พบกันใหม่